From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the Kern County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy, and our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay, board to reconvene. Welcome back to the December 16th, 2 p.m. session for the Kern County Board of Supervisors. And again, Merry Christmas to you. Today, and we'll start with roll call first, please.
Supervisor Peters?
Here.
Supervisor Parlier?
Here.
Supervisor Flores?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Perez?
Here, thank you. I would like to report out that today in closed session regarding item 34 of this morning's agenda, very excited to report a unanimous vote of 5-0. The Board of Supervisors appointed Craig Murphy as our next Director of Planning and Natural Resources, effective December 27, 2025. Mr. Murphy has served as the interim director since August 23rd of this year, and we are pleased to appoint him to the permanent director position. Mr. Murphy started his career with the county as a planner 20 years ago and worked his way up to become the Assistant Director of Planning and Natural Resources, a position he has held for the last 7 years. He holds Bachelor's of Arts degrees in Political Science and Radio Television Journalism, which is so cool, from San Jose State University and has extensive postgraduate studies in urban and regional planning from California State Polytechnic University, also known as Cal Poly. Mr. Murphy is also an alumnus of the Leon Panetta Institute for Public Policy and completed a Washington, D.C. congressional internship program. Very prestigious. This board is grateful to have somebody as capable as Mr. Murphy to continue the excellent legacy of our Planning and Natural Resources Department. I would like to give him an opportunity to say a few words and to also say many, many, many congratulations to you for this incredibly well-earned achievement and this incredible chapter and moment of your life. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'm greatly honored and appreciative of this opportunity and being offered this position. I'd also like to thank my family. I have a very loving wife who, they can't be here with me today, but she's very supportive and loving, and I really want to thank her for all the support over the years. And then I have three outstanding children, three daughters that have shaped me over the past 20 years of being a father, and I'm so appreciative to everything that they have brought to my life and to help shape who I am now. I'd also like to thank all the planning department staff and any other county staff, both past and present, that I've had the opportunity to work with. I'm so supportive, or I'm so honored of their support and appreciative of all the work that we've been able to do and will continue to do. And I really appreciate the environment in which we get to work with them. Going through this process kind of really gave me an opportunity to reflect on kind of how I got here. And, I can point to a number of different key milestones or things that led me on the way. But when you kind of look at it in its totality, I really don't know if I chose Kern County or if Kern County chose me. Like, it's kind of funny how some of that works. What I do know is that, living here for the past 22 years, working for the county, growing up in this community and having my kids growing up in this community, I'm so appreciative and blessed to have had that in my life. And I'm just so grateful for our community, our residents, and I'm just honored to continue to serve all the residents of Kern County. So thank you so much. I'm so honored and grateful for this opportunity.
It's a very special moment, Craig, and I know you have a legacy to fulfill. Your father is in oil and gas industry, so you come from good stock and good roots. You always speak so lovingly about your wife, and you're a really cool girl dad, which I think is really awesome, and also soccer coach.
Yes.
Very engaged father, very just incredibly devoted family man. You're a great face for Kern County, and really appreciative of all the aspects of who you are and what you bring to the table. And you're obviously and also very highly, highly recommended from our previous planning director, Lorelei Oviatt, who I know sends her wishes and congratulations to you as well.
Well, thank you very much. Again, everything about living here has been a privilege, from the community to the job to everything else. And I'm just honored that I get to continue. continue to do that.
Well, the buck stops with you, Craig, and you're in the hot seat now. So we wish you the best. Next year is a big year for our oil and gas industry and a new chapter for Kern County, and you're obviously the right man at the helm. So best of luck to you in that position.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, excellent. Moving along, we have a report on actions taken in closed session. Kendra?
Yes, good afternoon. This morning, following the PM agenda, your board met in closed session on items 34 through 36. Chairwoman Perez reported out on a portion of item number 34, and the remainder of item 34 and number 35 will be continued to this afternoon after the PM agenda, and there are no other reportable actions.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on to our consent matters. The consent portion of our agenda is reserved for matters that are considered by county family to be routine and non-controversial. We normally handle them with one vote after reading the consent agenda items. But of course, we recognize that members of the public may feel otherwise, and we certainly want to hear from you if you do. These are matters that are, of course, listed with a capital C, capital A, considered routine and non-controversial, and I'm going to list them now and then have a moment to hear from the public. Consent matters begin on page 2 and include item 3. On page 3, single item number 4. On page 4, all items listed 5 through 7 with the caveat that 5G is being withdrawn. And so the new fiscal impact on item 5 is $130,228.17. I'm going to repeat that. All the matters listed on page 4 remain on consent, 5 through 7, except for 5G, which has been entirely withdrawn, and that makes the new fiscal impact for item number 5, $130,228.17. On page 5, all items listed, 8 through 13. On page 6, all items listed, 14 through 19. On page 7, all items listed, 20 through 25. On page 8, all items listed, 26 through 33. On page 9, all items listed, 34 through 40. And on page 10, item 41 has been withdrawn entirely. The remaining matters, 42 through 46, remain on consent. 41 withdrawn, 42 through 46 remain on consent. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on consent agenda as I just reported? Okay, excuse me. Good afternoon and welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record and provide your comments. Looks like Eddie Lane. Good to see you, sir.
Good afternoon. Good to see you. I'm Eddie Lane, E-T-T-Y-L-A-I-N-E. Today I'm representing the Sierra Club and passing out a letter. I'd like to go back 7 years, something like that, when there was a plan of Hart Park Master Plan. It was developed with community support, but it was finalized by the county administrator, Ryan Alsop, who was sitting right there, and Jeffrey Hill, who was the General Services Director. Jeffrey Hill's wife was Margot Raison, who was the county council at that time, and Supervisor Maggard was supervisor for District 3. The reason I bring that up is because one part of that plan was the demolition of what used to be called the Peacock House. Now it's the Nature Center. And at a Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, where many of us were there, several people asked that that portion of the plan be changed, be modified, and that there be community engagement in the process. Well, what happened was the General Services Director at the time said, well, I'm sorry, the plan is in concrete and it cannot be changed, and we're going to demolish the Peacock House. Part of the rationale was that it is an adobe building, and there had been an earlier county, somebody who had done a plan and said, oh, all adobe has to be demolished. Well, we had an expert, Stephen Montgomery, who's our chair of our Sierra Club, who knew better. So with Steve, with a whole bunch of others, thanks to concerted effort, there was a process to stabilize, to protect the Nature Center. It's a WPA building. There aren't that many. It's a WPA building. It was renovated, and about a year and a half later, there was a celebration. We have a new Nature Center. except Mr. Alsop, when he was at the celebration, said to somebody, and the word traveled quickly, this will never really work. Well, fast forward to last Sunday when there were 90 people visiting the Nature Center, a puppet show for children. And last Wednesday, there was a Christmas gathering there. Something like 20 volunteers were there who volunteer all the time in the Nature Center providing programming. So the point I'm making is this. When you have community engagement, you can have something different than is originally planned. It can work, and it is working there in Hart Park. What I'm asking for today is a postponement of the Hart Park Equestrian Trail Repair Project. And I sent a whole lot of attachments yesterday. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of trees today. But this is a project which was developed, and as it was developed, there was a whole lot of community interest in this. We had people from Kern River Parkway Foundation, people from our Sierra Club, Building Healthy Communities, and Haley Duvall is here today. She's a reporter back there. She did a wonderful article about what could be done to restore the riverbank there. We also had, critically important, we had 2 experts from Cal State, including a geology professor, who made suggestions. So what we're asking for at this point, it's not going to make a material difference in terms of the project, because it was originally planned to be done by the end of this year. Well, the timing is not that important at this point. We're asking that this item be held so that we have a chance for grassroots community involvement, like occurred with the development of the Nature Center. So that's our request. I think some adjustments to the plan would be very helpful for the long-term, for the good of the community as well as the project. Thank you for this opportunity. And I think there's another person who'd like to speak to this issue.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for being so slow.
No worries.
I got my legs hurt in an accident a few weeks ago.
Well, we're not in any rush.
I'm here to talk about the evidently plans to redo the Kern River bank there at the Hart Park. And evidently, I understand FEMA has agreed to working on that. And I haven't heard anything about the kind of plans, but one thing I'm concerned about is that a qualified hydrologist be part of the project to work on that. Because last time it was done, some rocks and some dirt was dumped along the edge of the river, thinking, well, that's going to hold it. Well, the next flood came along and it just wiped it out. So that's a waste of taxpayers' money. What we need to do is put gabion wire cages down in the bank, down under the level of the river and up higher and so on. But as I understand, that idea is not being well received. However, if this kind of project is, or gabion wire and such things are not used, then you just watch. Next couple of years, when we have a big flood, it'll all be washed out again if you're going to use the same methods. So I would strongly suggest that these kind of methods be used to strengthen. I have some information here for those of you who are not familiar with gabion wire cages and their use in erosion control. And you can pass these out. I think I have 5 of them here.
Thank you, sir.
But anyway, that's all basically I have to say, and hopefully that some real thought will be put into the effective use of this. And people have said, well, gabion wire is expensive. That's true. But that's what the Measure K money is all about, is to helping safety issues and so on like that. And this erosion at Hart Park is a safety issue. Okay, thank you very much.
Sir, could you state your name for the record,
Oh,
please?
excuse me, I didn't do that. Yeah, David Schad, S-C-H-A-A-D, with Hart Park Working Group and Audubon Society.
Thank you.
Okay, do any of my colleagues want to weigh in on the request to postpone this matter?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores.
Thank you. Mr. Schott, I'm sorry you had a injury. Hope you're healing okay. It's my understanding, according to our Parks Director, that the gabion wire is not FEMA eligible, and so they won't pay for that. And the rocks that were used last time in the erosion and flood control, it's my understanding they're still there and they're not washed out. But Michelle, you want to come and explain that further? Add some context?
Thank you, Supervisor Flores. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Board of Supervisors. This project is being brought forward in response to the flood that occurred back in 2023. We experienced severe damage in Hart Park. The improvements or the restoration of the equestrian trail, the fencing and irrigation along the river's edge is the scope of work within this project. And as you mentioned, Supervisor Flores, yes, the repairs that were also done prior to the flood are currently intact. They held on either side of that improvement, actually sustained damages and were washed out. So
Thank
I
you.
hope that
And
answers your
sure,
question.
You may want to stay there just for a second in case I have any further questions. But basically, the big rain events that we had back in 2017, some years ago, created a big erosion, safety hazard, cliff destabilization. And so many years in the making have gone into this FEMA application. We're ready to go. We have a contract. We're going to go out to bid for a contract if we pass this. We have a world-class international civil engineering firm, AECOM. We have approvals that were not easy to get, but we got them from the Army Corps of Engineers. We got them from the Water Quality Control Board, Water Resources, and through your efforts. So I'm looking forward to hearing the community's input. They can always come forward and give us ideas, but I'd like to have this move forward as it is. By the time we go out to bid and start in the fall, when the rains are less and the water level is low, we're probably not going to finish until the end of 2026 or 2027 Q1. And so time is of the essence. Many people have taken this mic saying that this is an emergency, that this is a safety hazard, that this is a problem. And I've been out there, we've put fencing around it, we've marked it, and now is the time to move forward with FEMA before FEMA dries up potentially at the federal level. We've got to draw down these federal dollars, and we have to make it safe. And we'll have a good application, and we'll have a good contractor, and we will do good, safe work and get this the best that we can up to par, notwithstanding Mother Nature. Because Mother Nature is Mother Nature, but we could bring it back and have a safe place, do the equestrian repairs, the fencing, the stabilization, the irrigation, all that needs to be done. And I want to commend your staff on moving forward, and I welcome any public input, of course. We've got a whole nother year, and so I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores, through the chair.
You bet.
So my recommendation would be to move forward with staff's recommendation to advertise this project.
Sure, I concur.
Thank you, that's very helpful. Thank you for your input, Eddie. Thank you, gentlemen, for your input. Anyone else in the public like to comment on consent matters? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, or public portion of the consent agenda, and I'll ask my colleagues for action.
A motion on consent.
We have a motion on consent
Second.
and a second. Gentlemen, please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, motion carries. We're going to move to the public presentations portion of today's hearing, and matters that are reserved for public presentation are matters that are within the jurisdiction of the Kern County Board of Supervisors but are not on today's specific agenda. We ask that if you come down, you please try to honor our 2-minute limit. It's not a perfect system, but it's the one we have to work with, so I ask for your grace in that matter. but also please state and spell out your name and address this board. Okay, seeing no interest in public presentations, we're going to move. Gentlemen, do you have any board member announcements or reports? Oh, we do.
We have somebody who would like to talk.
Oh, I see. What's that? Oh, I see. Hello and welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman. Members of the board, my name is Judy Hyatt, H-Y-A-T-T, and I'm here on behalf of the Kern River Valley Senior Citizen, Inc. organization in the Kern River Valley. And I approach many of you many times asking for help. This time, I'm saying I have a wish list. I know it's not a Christmas wish list because it's not going to be accomplished by them. But I'm asking all of you to put a couple of things on your radar for 2026. Many of the buildings in the outlying areas, as well as in the city of Bakersfield, are aging. And the dining room in the Kern River Valley still has its single-pane windows that, when it becomes cold, it's cold. And I know there's some money out there in grant funds. I don't know exactly where they are, and I'm researching that. But I would like to see just the windows replaced. It will keep it cooler in the summer and a hell of a lot warmer in the winter. The building, the dining room itself has windows, large windows on both sides. And when you see people huddling in the middle of the room, you know there's a reason why. Also, one of the things that's happening at the senior center, as well as many other facilities under government jurisdiction, is the seating that used to be in the reception areas and that type of thing have been removed for a variety of reasons, some of which is the fact the homeless folks come in and maybe don't behave themselves or create problems that our building service workers are left to deal with. And I'm thinking that having another person, even if it's a temporary help, part-time, during the day when there are dozens of people who want to be there, are having to deal with the homeless. We've had issues we've even had people that have been found dead outside the building due to primarily drugs, but on the other hand, they are homeless and they're curling up in a corner to get warm. And
Ms. Hyatt, can you bring your remarks to a close,
I'm sorry,
please?
I'm getting deaf.
Okay,
That's
can you wrap up your remarks, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you bring your remarks to a close, please?
Oh, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. You have to yell at me. I have allergies, and when my ears get covered up, I can't hear anything. I live in a quiet world. It's kind of nice sometimes. Anyway, there's just some little bits and pieces looking at that particular senior center that some of them have easy fix, some of them don't. But on the other hand, if our center is facing some of these issues, so are more throughout the district, or throughout the county for that matter. And I think in the next budget go-round, we have no idea what we're going to be faced with as far as the human toll that's being taken on folks who have lost benefits. We still don't know what's going to happen with the medical care costs, and I'm hoping that someone comes to some kind of agreement so at least some planning can be done to think ahead and take care of what it is we need to take care of. That's
Okay.
not.
Thank you, ma'am. Supervisor Peters is going to weigh in now.
Thank you for coming, Judy. I appreciate it. Would Michelle, if you would talk with Ms. Hyatt and get her information and find out maybe what we can do to help out, we'll get you guys connected and see what we can do.
Yes, well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
would appreciate that. Also, Diane Holcomb is here with me. She's with the Kern Valley Senior Citizen, Inc. At the end of this month is the end of my term as president, and Diane will be taking over. When I chose to step into this position, I said it's not for life. So this is the end of I will still be on the board, and you'll still hear from me, but I will not be holding the position of president. Diane is the Energizer Bunny. She has grown our programs, healthcare programs, exercise programs. She's just done an amazing job. So I thank her for that, and I thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, this brings us to the end. Do we have board member announcements or reports? Supervisor Parlier.
Well, it's the last board meeting of the year, and I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well said, Supervisor Parlier. Anyone else? Supervisor Flores?
Yep. Thank you, Chairwoman, for guiding us the year, your leadership, your tempo, your respect for everyone, our colleagues in the audience, and we'll say more in January when you pass the baton. But thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Any nice compliments that the two of you would like to pay me? That would be an illustrious and wonderful time of the year to do so. Couch. I respect that, sincerely. Supervisor Peters.
I'm more irritated that now I'm gonna have to hire a team of comedy writers to try and keep up next year. So
That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you.
But thank you, Madam Chair. Looking
Thank
forward to taking over for you next year.
Very good. It's been a great year. And, we have tough issues in here because politics and governing is hard stuff. But I think we really have a great county family. We've had a good year. And I appreciate all my input, insight from my colleagues. They're remarkable. And we are going to end now for the day. We're going to adjourn to a closed session to continue our matters from this afternoon. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Couch. We're adjourned.